What's going on, folks? Eddie here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So last time we revealed exactly what we're throwing into the car. Today we're gonna head down to Torque and we're gonna make sure this all fits up. We're actually gonna start measuring up the car and making sure that what I've purchased is gonna fit in my engine bay. This is not Johnny's first engine swap, so I'm really happy got John on our side. Anyhow, there's one thing I want to clarify on, and that's the relationship between the Ferrari engines and the Alfa Romeo engine. They are from the same family of engines. If you go and you look up the engine type, the 2.9, you'll find that there is the 2.9 V6, the 3.8, and the 3.9 V8 from the Ferrari 488, the Ferrari California T, and a couple other models. They have the same bore, same stroke, and they were designed by the same guy, but the V6 version of it is only used in Alfa Romeos, while the V8 versions are used in Ferraris and Maseratis. So yeah, we're gonna measure this up and see what's gonna happen.
Back to the cooler, we got about 28 inches. Okay, so we got 35 inches. So I'm measuring to the cowl at the 35 inches. So if I go all the way back here to this damn trans cooler line to the front, yeah, we got room. About 3, maybe 4 inches. What? What? I love you too.
You know what would be kind of fun? Showing folks this engine beside an LS. That would be cool.
You would do that?
You have an LS.
Yeah.
All right, so just to give you folks a point of comparison, we're gonna put the Giulia engine beside an LS. For those of you that don't know, an LS is a very common engine to go into the Miatas. And this car is sharing a platform with the ND Miata. Well, it makes sense to give you that rough idea. So there happens to be an LS motor here at John's shop, so we can put them beside each other. So we have the Giulia 2.9 sitting right here, and then we have an LS motor here. John, what size LS is this?
This is a 5.3.
Okay, so we have a 5.3 LS and a Giulia 2.9.
Wait, you know what? I have headers and everything, but let's pull the two exhaust discharge points out.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So 25 inches. Whew. 21 inches.
That's actually more room.
Yeah, that's gonna give us a hell of a lot more room. Okay, cylinder head to cylinder head. So that obviously this is gonna be wider. So I'm gonna do exhaust manifold.
Yep.
Outside exhaust manifold to outside exhaust manifold, we've got 26 inches. Outside of cylinder head to outside of cylinder head is 29.
Yeah, she's a wide girl.
So we got 3 inches we're gonna have to make up for inside that engine bay.
It's gonna be very close, but it's doable. So the reason it's wider is an LS motor is not an overhead cam motor, while the 2.9 from the Giulia is a dual overhead cam engine. That means the top of the engine is going to be wider than an LS. So now we're going to pull the engine heights, and then I think that should give you folks a good idea of the size similarities between the 2.9 and the LS.
God, this thing is towering. 29, 30 inches, give or take. Oh! 23?
23.
Oh my God, we can move this thing up and down anywhere we want.
Okay, so that means we're gonna be able to have the engine relatively low in the engine bay. One of the most common comments we've been having in regards to this swap lately is, oh, we're gonna destroy the handling. So if you've ever looked into LS swapped Miatas, you'll know that they handle extremely well. The weight difference is marginal at best. I believe an LS swapped Miata ends up being about 2,600 pounds. Now, the cool thing here is the Giulia 2.9 is not exactly a heavy engine. It's an aluminum block, and there's a lot of other factors that end up making it quite light. So the car is going to maintain its balance. It's not going to be nearly as off as a lot of folks seem to think. Well, I think it's going to be better balanced than an LS motor, personally.
Okay, so when this thing showed up, we had to pick it up off the pallet. We had to like use good old-fashioned manpower, right? Getting this up on the engine stand took 1.5 people. It was I was wholeheartedly surprised with how light this was. You do not pick up an LS engine and put it on an engine stand with 1.5 people. It almost is impossible.
So that kind of makes the 2.9 a good thing for the platform. Really, this engine should mate to this car extremely well. And to those that think it's going to be Spin City, well, yeah, if all the power was going down all the time, it would be Spin City. But there's a couple things you can do to deal with that. Like, first off, yeah, we might be aiming for 700, but 700 will be definitively more of a track tune. And then you have things like boost by gear, which means, you know, you don't have to have all the power in first gear. You can set it up so you have, say, 300 horsepower. Traction won't be quite as much of an issue. Now, we're definitely going to be putting more rubber underneath the car. It's still going to be necessary, but it's really not going to be the hot mess that you might think. The other thing to factor in is the horsepower and torque numbers. It's not a massive torque generating engine. It has a lot of torque, but it's not like you're making a boatload of torque down low. It's a top end engine. You're making your power at peak. So you don't have to worry about that wheel braking down low quite as much. Now, you could still do it. And we're gonna do some burnouts and donuts.
But you know what's exciting about this?
What?
We don't have to screw with the auto trans now.
No auto trans.
So now that we're putting manual trans ECUs in it,
Yeah.
shift points aren't an issue that we have to deal with the auto trans. So we'll actually be able to effectively raise the rev ceiling of this engine. We may end up seeing 600-700 horsepower on incredibly conservative boost.
That'd be nice.
So
I want to hear what this thing sounds like revved out to 8 grand on conservative boost. I think that'll be kind of a fun tune to have. These things are actually pretty close in size. I'm really surprised. We're gonna have plenty of room to get this in there. The one area that John and I were concerned about was turbo fitment. So you can see that the turbo is on the underside of the engine. Same with the one on the other side. And that was our only real concern with fitment. It's probably one of the biggest blockers still, but it's not actually going to be a problem. Honestly, I'm surprised how well this is looking like it's going to fit. I didn't think it was going to fit this well.
nothing on the bottom yet. Flip it over. Top side we got all taken care of. So we got front and rear. Looking underneath the car, I said we had 21 inches. Yeah, it's gonna be tight, but we've got a moderate opening right here. This hydraulic assembly will not be here. I really wish we had the transmission here so we could see what we've got to work with.
Soon.
I know, but we've got these big openings where we can probably merge everything together. I am gonna try to merge this over into one exhaust pipe, run 3-inch out the back. Hopefully, if that doesn't work, we'll bend it with the 2.5s. So I got the tape measure out, and we're gonna make some more measurements. What I'm finding right now is there's openings right here where I got my hands right above each control arm where they've got huge openings. And these huge openings are going to be perfect for the turbos to land in.
Just to clarify what that means, the turbos would be up here and the exhaust would run through and out to here on both sides. Just imagine it mirror image.
Okay, so we got 22 inches side to side for our motor mounts. There is a big plastic piece here that I thought was part of the shock tower. It is not.
It's just fender well liner, isn't it?
No, it's like it's a cooler or something. It has some emissions liners or something running through it, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, because that'll come out pretty much immediately then. So it's really looking like we have more room than we thought we did. That's absolutely incredible. It's going to be tight, but it's going to fit. So there's 29 inches on the bottom, and the top itself is about 29. I'm feeling we'll have to probably pull a few things off the top before we slide it in, but that'll work.
It is going to be close. You know what's going to be great about this with it being coil unplugged?
Yeah.
Won't have to deal with the LS problem of trying to get through the coils in the side. Be able to just pop these off, get directly to the coils when you got to do the plugs. Smart plugs going to be a breeze on this, guys.
Actually, one of the other things going to be a lot easier to do on this car after the engine swapped is actually changing the oil. This is hilarious. So this is the oil filter housing, and it's sitting right in the middle of the top of the engine. It's the little things, isn't it?
Okay, so across the middle we had 29 inches. Front to rear we had, then we had 39 inches. Front to rear because we got the slope of the tunnel to work with. And then in the open areas where the turbos are gonna sit, we got about 40 inches.
I'm surprised there's that much room. I thought that was gonna be the hard spot.
Excuse my scribble, it's for my notes only. So, yeah, and up front, I know there's a ton of room because we put a huge intercooler up front. So getting everything fitted up front is not gonna be a problem. We just have to figure out what all we're gonna have to do. Upgraded radiator, coolant hoses, water to air, heat exchanger pumps, etc., etc. So I think we're good. What I was excited about was the exhaust. The exhaust, we've got 26 inches side to side. Make that 23. Well, I don't know how far we push that. You honestly, it's got 25 inches to get the exhaust out from underneath this car. Again, we're gonna have to figure out how much room we got. So 25 inches for the exhaust, and we might even be able to keep the factory plates and everything in place.
Okay, so as I said, it's gonna be a very, very tight fit. There's definitely gonna be some cutting involved in this. I can't imagine this thing going in without having to do a bit of cutting. Specifically, it looks like the strut towers might have to be cut down on the sides a little bit and plated just to make up for a little bit more room. Overall, dimensionally, you know, the numbers match up. It's just very close. So that little bit of clearance will give us that little bit of wiggle room we'll need for incidentals. Anyhow, so getting that manual transmission, that wasn't the simplest thing. I had some folks help me out to get my hands on that thing. So I'd like to thank 3 people in regards to this. A, Brett Melancolin. B, Robert Zecca. C, Johnny Santoro. Johnny Santoro was instrumental in getting this transmission in particular. He did all the legwork over in Italy. I couldn't have done this without him. A, I don't speak Italian, and B, I'm not in Italy. So Johnny, thank you so much for helping me get that transmission sorted out. I can't express how much I appreciate that. It's phenomenal. That is gonna be the piece that really makes this build in my mind. I didn't want to do it with the automatic. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and that little notification bell. All right, folks, I'll see you next time. We should be pulling the engine next time, and that's when stuff starts getting real. All right, folks, later.